Hi, everybody. Welcome to Whiskey Dads. This is a show hosted by three Uncle Nearest brand stewards who also happen to have kids. So we're just a bunch of guys who are raising children and enjoy a nice glass of whiskey. My name is Matt Carlson. I'm the Uncle Nearest brand steward for Los Angeles. I have a 7-month-old daughter named Geneva. We call her Ginny. And she's in the other room and hopefully quiet for a little while.
I love it. So, okay, I'm Mac Newell. I'm the brand ambassador out here in Virginia. And I have a 6-year-old. She's upstairs watching some TV and eating Starburst, it looks like, and at this moment. And I have a 1.5-month-old son as well. So definitely two different worlds, but very exciting.
So you're getting lots of sleep?
Oh, tons.
Yeah,
all
yeah. Me too. Totally. Yep.
So I'm Jay Madison. I'm the market manager for the state of Georgia, and of course in the beautiful city of ATL. I have 3 children. A little bit different than you guys.
You went for it. You really went for it.
You did.
So I have my oldest. Yeah, boy. Ooh, I'm a wild man. So I have my oldest, who's actually closer up there to Matt. My daughter Jordan, who lives in Silver Spring, Maryland. She's 25.
Whoa!
Right. Surprise. Then I have my young fella. Then I have my young fella. My wife, I have 2 kids. So my son is Ethan. He's 10 years old, 5th grade. Homeschooling is great.
Yes.
And then I have my youngest daughter, who's Laylan, who is in 1st grade and 6 years old, and is a ball of energy nonstop. So this house under quarantine has been exciting. Exciting. I love it.
Man. Keeping it real, right? Not
Absolutely.
able to leave the house. Oof. Well, let's
Man.
cheers to that. I think we all have a little Uncle Nearest.
Amen.
So I'm drinking Uncle Nearest 1856, 100 proof, 9 to 14-year-old Tennessee whiskey. I think you guys all. Oh, Jay's balling. He's got the bottle of 1820.
I got the bottle of 1820 for sure.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sipping on 1856.
Great. Well, let's cheers to that and
Let's do it.
have a little
Cheers,
conversation.
fella. Amen.
You got it, brother.
So our theme today for everybody at home watching, we thought each week we're going to jump in and tell a story about our kids. Generally, it'll be something that happened during the past week, but this week we're going to start with some birth stories because we thought that might generate some good conversation. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, it's been a while for you, Jay, so I hope you remember. But for Mac and I, man, it's pretty present.
Right.
I'll go ahead and start. So my wife and I, my daughter was born on August 18th. So she's a little more than 7 months old. We're a little bit older. So I don't know if you guys had this happen to you, but we were officially categorized a geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah, there we go. We were.
Yeah.
Jay, were you guys that?
We were right there. Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
my wife wasn't really thrilled about that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're like,
So if you're over 35, it's considered a geriatric pregnancy.
yeah.
Which is crazy, but
It's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Geriatric. Yeah.
My wife was like, "Am I a senior citizen? I don't think so."
I mean, can I get discounts?
Yeah, right. Free coffee. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So
ARP card.
in the last month of her pregnancy, she had to go in twice a week because she was a geriatric pregnancy.
Oh,
for,
God.
like, non-stress testing.
Yes.
So I went to a
And
bunch of
risks.
them, but I didn't end up going every appointment because there were just a lot of them the last couple weeks. But at the last minute, I decided I'd go to the one, and I'm glad I did. But neither of us had showered. We were late. We'd just been doing this all month, right? So we went in, and after they did the testing, the nurse came in and she said, "Okay, so we're gonna admit you across the street." And we were like, "What?" She said, "So your water broke and you didn't realize it."
What?
Yeah, so it wasn't like
During
an
the check?
event.
You just go to
Yeah,
check?
during the non-stress testing,
Oh my God.
they were like, "You're gonna go
Wow.
across the street, and then we're gonna admit you." And we were like, "What?" So we didn't have a bag with us. We have a dog. We had like a.
Oh,
so I had
man.
so I took my wife, Leslie, across the street. We checked in. And then I went, drove furiously back to our house. I called our friend who was going to watch the dog. She met me there. I packed the bag. We didn't even pack the bags yet, I don't think. Or maybe we had. Anyway, so I get all the bags together, get the food for the dog to our friend, get all that stuff out to her car, get back in my car. Our friend is about to pull away with my dog, and my car won't start.
Oh,
so my car had died.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect
So
timing.
Wow.
my car dies. I jump out of my car, chase after my friends. I'm like, I need to jump.
Oh my
Wow.
So she came back. We jumped the cars. And then I switched it out with my wife's car because I was like, I'm not taking this to the hospital. So I parked it in our parking spot, and then I drove her car back to the hospital.
That's like a movie, man. That's a straight up movie, dude.
I know, right? I was like, I can't believe this is happening.
Talk about stressed out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
so how tough is she though? She didn't even know her water was breaking. She didn't even know she was about to go into labor at all, and she's just cool.
Yeah, and she's incredible. So they eventually had to induce. So this was a week early. She was at 39 weeks. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, so they induced.
That's full term. That's still for full term though, right? I think 38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they told her when we started the drugs to induce that they weren't sure if she was going to be able to eat. And she was like, I didn't have breakfast. I'm starving. So she made me go out and get Chipotle. So we ate Chipotle.
Perfect. Chipotle, man, look,
in her hospital room. Yeah, man. That's going to work
out great later.
Yeah, no, I won't tell that part of the story, but yes, you're right. It did work out.
There you
go. Don't forget the guac.
Oh no.
So yeah, it's like the first day really, they don't give you the stuff that induces contractions. It's just to get your body ready. So we watched episodes of Cheers in her room and worked on the baby book. But the next day they gave her Pitocin, which is, did you guys induce, either of you?
We C-section.
Oh, C-section.
Yeah, so we're completely different. We had our schedule.
We did, and it was bananas. I might have to bring my wife in to find out exactly the number. I mean, it was like a ridiculous amount of time. Like she was in labor for I think 17 hours, something crazy, and started on Pitocin. So she's in labor on steroids and was holding it down like a G. But I'll come to that. So get it, Matt.
Yeah. So my wife starts on Pitocin, and she very much wanted to have a natural childbirth. She didn't want an epidural, but Pitocin basically starts contractions really close together and very intense from the beginning. So your contractions are like they are at the end the whole time you're in contractions.
Wait a minute. So why would you want to do Pitocin? Just make it happen?
Well, because her water had broken and we didn't know when, they immediately wanted to induce for the health of the baby.
So it makes it go faster, right? So,
yeah. Sometimes
it's labor on steroids, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes they induce if you haven't given birth and you're at 41 weeks. But in her case, it was for the health of the baby and for her health.
Nice.
It's real intense. And my wife is very strong and also stubborn. And she was like, I don't want to have an epidural, even with Pitocin. So
hats off to the ladies in the world, man.
I know. If they had offered me drugs, I would be yes, please, I'll take drugs right now. If I really wanted to get the baby, I would be like, just knock me out and give me the baby 6 hours later.
Say, I'm pregnant, bring the drugs.
Yeah. I would have been roll me in with something like, look, this is not gonna work for me. As soon as y'all get some more drugs, keep it coming.
They're gonna say, sir, you don't need to be smoking the drugs. They'll be look, I don't know. I wonder what
medicinal purposes.
It's helping me, okay? It's for the baby. It's for the baby.
Go. Right.
So so the first 5 or 6 hours, she was on Pitocin and didn't have an epidural, and we had practiced all these things, which I'm sure. Well, I guess if you had a C-section, you didn't do, but all the things you're gonna walk around the hallway together or sway together. Man, from the jump, she was just holding on to the side of the hospital bed and screaming.
Oh my God.
Right.
It's, I mean, way harder for the woman, obviously, but it's really hard to sit there and not be able to do anything. Like you're in a situation where you just can't help except like let her crush your hand, you know?
Right.
So we did hours of this until she finally was like, I want an epidural. And I was like, absolutely. The whole time I'm like, maybe take the drugs. Please take the drugs.
Yes. Drugs are good for this.
Yeah.
Drugs are good.
So she gets the epidural. She gets the epidural, and it's so powerful that she can't feel everything, so she can't push when the contractions happen.
Oh,
right.
So we had a couple hours of that, and then they cut back the epidural to half so she could feel everything. She got a fever. They were worried about the baby's heartbeat, so just crazy stuff.
That,
and then she's pushing. Started throwing up, which was.
My gosh, man!
She's a strong woman. So we did that for like 5 hours. It's now like 2 a.m, and there's conversation about maybe doing a C-section. And one of the nurses turned to my wife and said, "You've gone this far. Are you going to quit now?"
Whoa.
Yeah, right. I know it was meant to be motivational, and it was, because my wife was pissed.
Yeah, she's like, you want me to do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to like that now. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So she didn't want me to coach her at all during the first like 10 hours. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to put on some music and I'm going to help coach. And so it was quiet hours, clearly, because I think after like 8 o'clock, you're supposed to be quiet. And I turned on Led Zeppelin, the White Stripes, and then and then eventually the Rolling. I just cranked it up, and I was like, I don't care, we're having a baby. So I helped coach her through it. And my daughter was born to the Rolling Stones. She was born to Shine a Light.
Oh, wow.
About 1:50 in the morning.
Whoa, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. This is what this is about.
So this is for my wife, my incredibly strong wife, and my daughter, Geneva.
You got it. Salute.
Cheers, guys.
Salute, bro. Amen. Wow.
Well, man, that's the story, man. Mine, I don't, because we had the whole C-section thing completely different. Okay. I mean, well, we had a C-section for both of our kids, but mine, the biggest thing I think about our son was that I was a little bit worried because of how we had my daughter. So my daughter, the key word for mine was Apgar. So here's what scared me the most about having ours. I think when you have it, the right way, and they come through the whole canal and the tunnel, you squeeze out all the stuff, and they scream and they right. C-section completely different. They come out like picking them out of a pool of water, just like So my daughter, this is what I did not know. So my daughter comes out. I'm just gonna say this. So there's, depending on when you take the kid out or whatever, they can ingest a lot of the fluid, right? And so they don't really scream all the time. So they're trying to hurry and make that thing happen. But here's the thing, man. So my daughter did not, and they said her Apgar, which I think is like appearance. Shoot, I don't even know what it is. Appearance.
Yeah.
Like the way that they look and the way that they're responding, right?
The tests to make sure the baby's okay, right?
Right. The test makes sure the baby's okay. So my daughter, and I think 0 is the bottom. 10 is the highest, right? My daughter was a 2. So I was freaking out, man. So when they said, 2, I was like, okay. So I immediately go into prayer mode, man. So kind of freaking out a bit. And my mom, she's, I call her up first. She's like, how's it going? I was like, okay, well, look, Apgar is 2. She's, oh my God, baby. She just goes on the prayer mode and she's there for it. I'm like, okay, Mom, thank you. But she's doing all that. I'm getting more worried because
that doesn't make you feel good. I
know what a 2 was, you know what I mean? I mean, I know it was bad, but she's going to it like, and my mom had 6 kids, 6 of us. So she's like, yeah, 2 is kind of tough. So she's going through all this stuff and I'm getting all worried. So my daughter spent the first night in NICU. We didn't even get a chance to see her the first night. But I would go down there, and see her. She looked great. Beautiful kid. The second night, a lady had, I think, like quadruplets. And so they're like, your daughter's perfectly fine. She's going to take her. It's all good. I was like, wow. So
we need to make room for all these.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So, Your daughter just needs to cry a little bit. That's all. So my daughter, she was totally fine the second night, and she was great. But my son, the reason I'm saying that's because my son, he came out. I was worried out with that in my mind. I was thinking, okay, what's the APGAR going to be? Is he going to come out crying? He came out in about 2 seconds. He's straight up crying. He's going right at it. APGAR is at 9, so completely different. Yes, completely different kind of process. The big thing about it, I think, is just we were kind of knew it was coming a little bit. But you're right, though, Matt. So my first daughter, my first kid, we had it was I think she was right. She was under 35, so it wasn't geriatric. I think at that time, but my right. It makes it seem so crazy, right?
I know. Yeah.
Then. But then my son, oh my gosh, dude! They not only do they have all those times they go, like I said, twice a week, but they measure everything right on this kid. And so they're sitting back and they're like, he's looking great. He's looking great. Oh wait, his arms are measuring a little bit short. And I'm like, oh well, okay, well, how much short? Well, maybe a millimeter. I'm like, I get it. The kids got. They're little. What? So anyways, so then we're getting concerned about that. Come to find out, man, when we have the kid, totally fine. Everything measures out completely, fine. But going through that whole process, the reason why I want to say that real quick, Matt, what you're saying, that whole process is nerve-wracking. When you have kids and you're, older or whatever, and they do all those different tests, it is nerve-wracking, bro. Like to the point, I remember my wife, it was all blood pressure. It was everything constantly. And you're constantly thinking, I just hope everything's gonna work out all right. So no, we had my son. He was great. Now we're going through sleep training, and so that's a whole different story. But yeah, so Lennox is good. Lauren's great. So that's kind of my story, real quick in a bubble.
We'll have to do an episode on sleep training.
Amen.
Yeah, we do.
Close to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I forgot one thing.
Yep.
Jay, if your wife had an epidural, you might have experienced this. So I'm so glad that a friend of mine told me in advance. He said he didn't know the side effects of the epidural involve shaking.
Oh.
So when his son was born, his wife got an epidural and she just started shaking.
Oh yeah.
And
no, but she didn't get the epidural. She had the shakes.
The juice hits the spine. Yeah.
Yeah. So he thought she was going into shock. Thought his wife was dying, and his wife turned to him and said, "It's okay. This is normal."
It doesn't look normal. Oh my God.
No, and it's really funny when he tells it, but I was really glad he told me because when Leslie started shaking, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah,
right, you'll be fine, baby."
That's
right. Cool, right.
That's okay. This is normal. I was like, "Does it look normal?" Looks like
she'll be all right.
Having some problems.
It's like something's going on, man. I gotta. I'm sorry, man. I'm gonna keep on wiping my eyes because, I'm crying because I'm laughing, dude. This is pretty hilarious. So, real fast. I'll try and make this as fast with 3 kids. So, first of all, I was not there when my oldest daughter was born. I found out about that she was born later on, so that was a big, huge surprise. But it has been so beautiful how the relationship with me and her mother has been. She came when I was in my last year of school at Morehouse. So that was pretty much my graduation gift to my parents. Like, hey, you got a granddaughter. And so, as stressful as it was at the time, man, it's so beautiful how it's worked out. And then to come full circle and
wait, hold on, Jay. Wait, Jay. Jay, you said you didn't know. Did you know you were having a kid though?
I did not. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on. But it truly and there's a reasoning behind that because we all know if at this point in time, man, as dumb and as stupid as I was back in those days.
Yeah.
It all happened for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Facts.
It all happened for a reason, and it worked out beautifully. So that was truly a great wake-up call for me. And my daughter Jordan was a blessing, man. She was God sent. So
nice.
But nice. To come full circle where, I graduated from Morehouse, her mother graduated from Spelman, and then Jordan attend Spelman and graduate from Spelman. So it was so funny and surreal to see her walking across the stage and receiving the diploma. And I'm sitting there like, wow. Like, I remember back in the days when I was on this campus, and now my daughter is walking across the stage, and just how everything started out, how everything went, and just to see her life, and just, you know, it's been a great relationship.
Wow, man.
Our families, and it was always about, it was always about taking care of the baby, taking care of Jordan, and just to see her grow up and doing her thing. And so she's up your way, Mac, up there in Maryland. She's a couples and family therapist, so she's doing her thing. Nice. You know, therapy is her jam. Yeah, I'm putting a plug in. You know, that's her IG. But yeah, that's so my daughter's doing her thing, man. So nice. I'm very, very proud of her. Smart as a whip. It's hilarious. She's like got, you know, she got that mostly from her dad, like probably a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and she looks like me, which is so funny. Yeah. She looks like me, which is so funny. Like, people's like, dude, like Jordan is truly like, it's like you and drag, Jay. And I was like, my sister said that. She looks like me. So,
so she's a very pretty woman.
Very pretty, very pretty.
There you go.
Because I look like my mom, so you know what I'm saying.
I'm saying you're pretty, Jay. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you are a beautiful man.
Thank you.
Beautiful man.
So
it's not just
that all went down. Yeah. So that was a beautiful whole process of how that went down. Was just scary as heck, but it all turned out beautiful. Which also too, from that standpoint, it made it so brand new for me when my wife was pregnant with my son, which was totally planned out from our standpoint, even though we were a little bit older. And I think we were in that category of being, I don't know if it's geriatric for it, but at risk. You know what I'm saying?
Another term, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
that's better than geriatric.
So right. So the thing was with my son, it was all brand new. We had bags packed, everything ready, and all that good stuff. And it got to the point where we actually had to make an appointment to induce, because my son is kind of like his dad, where, you know, it was past 40 weeks. They were like, if we keep at this pace, this boy's gonna come out like 12 pounds, and this is gonna be a very painful delivery. Yeah. And so we're like, okay, all right, I guess we're gonna go ahead and make this appointment to induce. So we actually had that scheduled, went into the hospital. And also, too, part of the process is my wife is, you know, wanted to be more natural. And so we actually had a doula. And so a doula is, of course, someone who assists you with the process of making sure it's natural, because sometimes in the hospital, man, they're going to try and run you through the gamut and always be with the C-section and all that type of stuff. And everything just goes really medical and gets really expensive and really crazy. But the doula was there to be definitely which is funny, she's support for the father, and then of course support for the mother. But from the father's standpoint, you're able to be more supportive for your wife and kind of take charge of the processes going on. So the doula was really cool. We had sitting down with her before the pregnancy. So when we went into induce, I called her up. She comes in. We got aromatherapy in the room. We got music playing, some cool Sade.
The doula does all that?
The doula, yeah, because I brought in all the stuff, and she was like, she showed us like how to set up stuff and all that stuff. So I had a bag set and ready. Hey, so she came in and was like, yeah, you got it all together. Yeah, it was.
Wait, the doula was
cool. It was very, very.
She likes the kids and does all the instant and all that type of stuff.
She was cool. She was cool as hell.
Yeah, y'all brought it in right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but also too, we're having my wife's being induced. So literally, like you said, like they start ramping up with, I guess, the drug or whatever like that. That they continue to have an IV, and so as it's going along, and really it's like it just speeds up the whole labor process. And so I know my wife was in labor, like it was in the morning. We were in labor for at least, it was over like 17, 18 hours. I mean, just the fact that she's going through. I mean, my wife is a monster. I was like, "Are you serious?" So my wife's history. She's been in the martial arts. So I mean, my wife is like, she's yeah. She's ready. So her pain tolerance is like probably past mine. I'm not gonna lie.
So definitely past yours. Of course it is.
Oh yeah. way
Any
past
woman's
mine.
pain tolerance
So-
is past
Bruh.
miles.
Oh,
You
dude,
get a
I suck, man.
you get a paper cut.
I'm like,
You know.
Right.
"Ah,
So
give me an
I
epidural.
was like, so
Give me a
yeah. So we're going through the whole thing. My wife wants to stay natural. Everything's cool. Yes, great. So after a while, I finally it got to the point where I remember she was in the bathroom and she was kneeling over, and I remember her just looking up at me. She was like, we got to come with a plan B, baby. And I was like, oh crap, you know. She was like, because she was trying to be all natural, everything. And when she looked at me and said, we got to come with a plan B, I was like, that's it. You've been going through too much. So I mean, I immediately walked out in the hallway. I was like, "Where's my doctor? Get them in here now. We need epidural, all that type of stuff." So
get to him.
yeah, oh yeah,
Hey,
oh yeah.
you go, brother.
And the doula was right there with me. She was like, "That's okay." She was like, "But let's not go too far off the process of being natural." So I was like, "Okay, cool." So we come in.
The doula's not going through right now with your wife, so
yeah, no doubt. So they go ahead and administer epidural, and like you said, and so they administered the epidural, and my son still is like, I'm chilling. I'm like, so going through all this type of stuff. So it was administered, and even to the point where after a while, like they had to leave the room because there was some lady down the hallway that was going through. I mean, she was screaming. I mean, it was like ridiculous. So they left. And so eventually what happened was the epidural started wearing off for my wife. And so pretty much I think it started wearing off. So after a while, she could start to feel below her waist. It was funny. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, Matt, like you can't feel anything. So she was like, she couldn't feel what was going on. And my wife is very much in tune with her body. So that it was kind of like also a gift and a curse where the epidural started wearing off, but she could feel things going on. So therefore, eventually they came back in and they were like, okay, the baby's heartbeat is going down and up. It's getting to be tricky. We might have to do a C-section. And my wife was like, no. She was like, well, what? Let's see if we might be ready to make some stuff happen. She was like, now listen, don't start pushing. And of course, my wife was like, right. So the process kind of speeds up all of a sudden. So it was so funny. So I'm in the room, right? And so the doctor's like, hey, this is where she got me. The doctor's like, hey, just hold her leg for a second. I'm gonna give her, check her out and see what's going on. And she was like, now, Solana, don't start pushing. And of course, my wife is, and so next thing I know, she's like, wait a minute. The baby's starting to crown. And so next thing I know, I'm still holding my wife's leg. So I'm literally got a bird's eye view.
Oh man.
So I'm holding her leg. I'm right there. And I'm sitting there like, wait. I wanted to be up by her head, talking to her, stuff like that. The doctor's like, no. Stay right there, babe. You're good. Stay right there. And I was like, I mean, just to see that whole process and see my son coming to the earth, I was like, what? I mean, for a second, I'm not lying. So there was a nurse right next to me. For a second, I just turned my head. I was like this. I was like, she's like, you okay, Dad? She's like, you're not gonna pass out, are you? I was like, I don't think so. I'm good. I mean, and just turned back. But I mean, my wife was a freaking trooper. And but what happened was when my son was coming out, his shoulders got caught in there. So they had to do a little bit of a not an incision, but a snip to get room. And I was like, what the man? I mean, incredible. And so of course, then finally he comes out, and Ethan was a monster when he came out. I mean, and so they took him out and laid him on the table, and he's hollering and crying, everything that he's supposed to be doing. And then once I get a chance to get over, of course, my wife now is at the door. I heard laugh. I heard that. I'm like, okay,
He's mixing up the story.
There you go.
The epidural never made it past my thighs.
Oh no.
It didn't wear off. It didn't make it past my thighs. So from my thighs down, I was numb. From the thighs up, everything was working. They couldn't do anything.
So what happens when that happens? What do they can't adjust that and give you more? What happens? I don't get it. Did we lose him?
I think we lost Jay.
Oh man, it was just getting good. No, Jay,
come back.
Oh,
he seems to still be on here.
Jay, you got to be on here, bro. You got to figure that out. Oh man, it was just getting good.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, so wait, I think my wife still got an epidural though. But wait, did you see it? Did you see your?
Yeah.
You watched it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the baby's asleep now, so I gotta be quieter.
So this ends this segment up.
So actually, just in case we've completely lost Jay, yep, there he goes. Well, why don't you and I wrap this up, Mac? We're gonna give our picks for at the end of each episode. We're gonna share something that we've been reading or watching. I'm gonna go first. So I've been doing some very heavy reading here.
Let's see what you got.
Did I share my ice cream?
Oh my God.
It's funny reading it at this time now because the answer is no, you should not share your ice cream.
That's right. Yes, it's correct.
But the other one from Mo Williams that I really appreciate is called Waiting is Not Easy.
Oh man, I love
it. And this for parents as well, considering we're all stuck inside, is a great read.
So brother, look, you are, that is the grail right now. Mo Williams can do no wrong. That dude is
at the end, what they're waiting for, it's a bit of a spoiler, but is this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, see. Yeah, we got that one, man. That's a good one. So we got this whole the anthology, I don't know what you call it. It's not an anthology, but the big book. I think it's called Book 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's got 5 of those stories in there from Mo Williams. Dude, that for what he's doing with Elephant and Piggy or whatever, it is ridiculous. I mean, and the lessons you get when you walk away are awesome. So, and that one is really great. So I got to admit, my daughter is definitely going through those books now. And the cool thing about it is she's reading them to us. So we're at that point, which is really cool. So she's doing that. But I got to admit, when we thought about this question, I was thinking about what I was actually reading. And
no. Yeah, absolutely. That was the point. But...
my daughter's on that kind of stuff. But yeah, for me personally, man, I am definitely on Netflix right now, and I'm watching. I'm a visual guy, right? So I my background all visual arts. I'm doing what's the name of that show? It's called Resleeved, but Resleeved it's basing it off of Altered Carbon. I think that's the name of the show. It's like so what it was, there's this series called Altered Carbon. It's like these people that, you never really die. You have a stack in the back of your neck. You can always come back into another body, which is another sleeve, but it's an animation version of that. Oh, so cool. I get big into those animations. I don't know why, go figure. But it's actually pretty good. So if you want to get a good watch, which is kind of interesting now that, animation movies are kind of booming, which you think, because dealing with the whole social distancing, that seems to be more of a way we might be going. People go and record their voice and you see animation. But no, it's a great watch. I think it's pretty good. It's interesting to me. Cool. But good call on the Mo Williams, man. That was a good move, bro.
Yeah, man. That's most of what I've been reading.
Yeah. Yo, dude, listen, you should check out Preschool Playhouse. My daughter was about 5. No, she was about 8 months. Yeah. We started her on Preschool Playhouse. Or Preschool, I think it's called Preschool Playhouse. I got to send you a link. Okay. But, dude, that's got her from doing the whole reading. My daughter skipped kindergarten. So she's kidding. A beast. She's a beast, man. She's got it all from her mom, though. But she did, this year. So she's supposed to be kindergarten. She's actually 1st grade now. But
that's great, man.
She did this whole Preschool Playhouse video.
Jay's back.
Jay.
Oh, my God.
Did your wife pull the plug on you? She was like, "You're getting this wrong. We're cutting it."
Yeah. That's what happened. That's exactly.
Oh, you got an echo.
My wife came in and said, "That's it. Pull the plug. You got the story totally wrong." I don't know where the heck. I guess we'll have to edit it.
Oh no, it's great. It's even better, but I have to talk quietly now because the baby's asleep.
Jay, we gotta wrap up, man.
No, you guys can be loud because I'm in headphones, but I can't. So, Jay, we just did our picks. These were mine. Waiting is not easy. Also, the answer to this question is no, you should not share your ice cream. Not right now.
Okay.
No, you can be loud. Go ahead. So, what have you been reading or watching this week, Jay?
Do I have time to just finish my story if I do quick fast?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
No, we would have left this on.
Okay.
You left us on the end, so we didn't know where to finish it. Yeah.
So the boy pops out, and he wasn't crying at first. My wife corrected him. So he wasn't. And so what happened eventually, they had to smack him on his butt and all that stuff because they had to clear out his.
They really do that? They really
yeah. Because I mean, of course, all the fluids and all that stuff in there. So I feel like I'm on echo, but so say again.
You got it right now. It sounds good.
All right, so they go ahead and he starts crying. They sit him on the table and he's hollering. And so eventually, after I check, make sure my wife is cool, I go walk over to the table. I say, "Hey, little man, it's Daddy," and he stops immediately, like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Dad?" And he's chilling. He stops crying, everything. I was like, "Wow."
Whoa.
And so I say that because it's very important as fathers, as parents, to talk to the baby in the belly. They know you. You know what I'm saying? So when I spoke to him, he was like, "Okay, Daddy's here." He was like, "Okay, we good. Let's chill out." Wow. So that was that story. And that's the amazing. Rest of that night, when it came time for him to latch on and breastfeed, my son was on it. Wow. And then it was just crazy. The first night we sat there in the room, and I just remember staring at him like, I can't believe this is really happening. Yeah, and he was huge. Like the doctor was like, "Dude, this is a boy." I mean, like straw. Like after 2 days, he lifted himself up on his elbows. My doctor was like, "I've never seen that before." like yeah, he's like a super boy. So
you're like a LeBron
that was him.
James type, like a man child.
Right. The boy is solid. So completely opposite story for my daughter Layla, and I'll try and do this one as fast. My wife is right at the door for footnotes.
Yeah.
So
she fact checking.
Same type of thing like you, Matt. We go to the doctor's office, and we went for a checkup. I think my wife was feeling like something was going on, and so we went to the doctor's office. Long story short, she eventually was like, "You know what? You can go home and continue to start to go through labor, or you can probably just go on over to the hospital right now." We were like,
"Wow."
And she was like, "Yeah, because the baby seems like she's moving, like she wants to make stuff happen." I think we were at 38 weeks.
Oh yeah, full term still. Yeah, you good.
Oh yeah. So of course, and that's like my daughter. My son's cool, laid back. My daughter's go.
Ready to go.
So we say, forget it. Get over to the hospital. Start checking her in, and my wife is starting to be like, "Ooh, like something's coming." Like, oh. So they check her in. We get into the room, and they're like, "This baby's trying to come out right now." We're like, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much, they had to medicate her or give her whatever drugs to slow down the process, which is again completely opposite of my son.
Absolutely.
So then chilled out for a little bit. I don't remember the doula for Layla. She was right. Because everything happened so fast, the doula was like, "Oh, it's going down now." So okay, so she got there a little bit later.
Light the candles like this. She going. She at it.
Right. So, but
I love it.
The epidural came, and oh, that's what it was. So he hit. That's what it was. He hit something. So it was like it didn't work out exactly how it was supposed to, of course, but the baby came so daggone fast. But from the neck down was numb. But either way, like Layla was coming out so fast. So the process was.
So it took the epidural took though this time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's crazy though. From the first one side down, that's crazy.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I didn't even, man.
That sounds terrible.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a terrible.
Yeah, and Layla came out so fast, and it was cool because our friends had Ethan. They were keeping him at his house, and so it was just me and Solana there with the doula, of course, and it was so funny that after everything was good, baby's out, she latched on pretty good too. I remember correctly.
Yeah, but it was just scary because when she came out,
That's what it was. So when she came out, everything went
Just bring
so
her on.
fast. But when she came out,
Yeah, he's like, nah,
stand right here, honey. So when she came out, the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, and I remember that. I remember, like, I was in shock, like, holy crap.
Yeah, I heard
and
about
so
that.
But the doctor was quick. I remember her doctor grabbed him and pulled around her neck just like that, like in 2 seconds. I was like, whoa. She's like, she's fine. The baby's fine.
Yeah, shout out to these doctors too. They off the chain.
Oh yeah. Oh man, dude, the pressure and just how she handled it was quick. And so after that, I cut the umbilical cord. Everything was good. Everything worked out smooth from there. But I remember leaving the hospital, going to pick up Ethan, and how excited I was to bring him back to the hospital to, of course, see mommy, but then to see his little baby sister. And I remember walking him down the hallway, and this dude's like bouncing off the walls and like, you know, and just bringing her in. And the first thing he did was walk up and hug mommy and said, "Are you okay?" And then when we finally, I took him to the window, of course, and looked through the window so he could see his sister. And he was like, "I can't wait to hold her." So, I mean, I remember that. So that was one of the first pictures I took when we finally brought her into the room and were able to sit him in his arms, and he held his little sister. So that was real cool. But all these stories, man, it was just all of it was just surreal, just to be in the room, witness it, and just see how strong and how tough my wife was to take all that stuff that went down, like from epidurals to actual delivery to labor. It was just incredible, man. I mean, it's so funny because now kids being 6, 9, and 25, some of that stuff you forget, but then some of that just comes right back, of course, with a nice reminder from my wife. Right.
I love it.
But I know in regards to time, I just had to speed up and get it in there and make sure we get to
man.
No, I'm glad.
to the rest of our segment.
And cheers to your wife, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. By the way, come here, sweetie. It's her birthday today.
Let's do it. Hold on. I gotta get a little more fresh. There we go.
Hey, babe.
Listen.
Hold on just a second. Yeah.
Okay.
Solana.
Uncle Nearest, man. Every time I smell it.
Please.
Woo!
There we go.
Beautiful. Just
so cheers to our wives. Because we would not be whiskey dads without them. And a beautiful happy birthday to my lovely wife.
Yeah.
She turns 30 again. Cheers and happy birthday, darling. Thank you for making me a dad.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right.
Beautiful.
So, what's next on the menu, fellas?
You got to say what your critics pick is for the week. You've been watching or listening to anything that you like?
So, let's see. There was the movie on Netflix.
Oh, that one was good.
Oh crap! It was the one with Mark Wahlberg and the dude from Black Panther. Oh, yeah. It was something about something.
I know you're talking about. It's called
Spencer Confidential or something.
Yeah. That sounds like it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that was a good movie. So definitely check that out. And then on Instagram, of course, I've been watching and checking out my man D-Nice. Yeah, bananas, man. Dude. I mean, just rocking the party. Him doing that, and then like the after party late set has been my man Questlove. I mean, I've been enjoying that. That's some cool chill out Questlove. Oh man, he's dropping some gems and also talking about a lot about recordings and stuff like that. Late night with the blue light, red light. It's real cool. So those have been definitely my big picks. Definitely how I can relax after we put the kids to bed. You know, I don't know, you guys are not getting much sleep, but you know, my kids go to bed and they knocked out to the morning. So amen to that.
Good for you, man. Someday, man.
We'll get there. We'll get there again.
Yeah.
Someday. Yeah. For real. When the kids sleep, you sleep.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, cheers to everybody who's watching. On behalf of Uncle Nearest, we want to say thank you for supporting our whiskey. Right now, it might be a little more difficult to find, but there are services like drizzly.com where you can have your local liquor store delivered to your door, which is probably the safer option. But yeah, tune in next week. We'll have some more conversation about whiskey and dads.
See you guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot, y'all. Have a good one. Everybody be safe.
Yeah, get some sleep. All right.
Yeah.